Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. Starting on the daily chart here, we of course are in a finished bull run 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5. As a reminder, we have finished a wave 1 and we're looking currently in a short bear market for a wave 2, and potentially this wave 2 might be a 1-2 for a massive wave 3 toward the upside, as we saw in our deep analysis. You can go back for it and take a look. What do we mean with this? So we are in a massive wave 3 toward the upside, meaning currently your wave 3 need a 1-2, and when you are in a wave 3 over 3, that means of course your wave 2 might be very shallow, and sometimes not only in Bitcoin, the wave 2 for a wave 3 over 3 or before a wave 3 over 3 tends to miss the 0.38. Missing this 0.38 will trick you and you will miss the trade toward the upside. Therefore, it is always, of course, better to be prepared for this scenario in case it happens. I'm not saying that 100% sure this is gonna happen, but I'm saying because Bitcoin 60 to 70% tends to do this, we have to be prepared for this scenario. Meaning, potentially your A, B, and C might not reach, of course, the low of this corrective wave or this stronghold support. And as you can see, because we have a very strong support here, we might, of course, come back to it and, of course, hold on in this area and then start the move toward the upside. So if we take a look also closer in this area to see what do we have and what has left, of course, from our deep analysis. Starting first, of course, here to remind you that we are in the top of the wave 1. You're looking for wave 2. Your wave 2, you still need, of course, the minimum time requirement 0.38, of course, for a wave 2. And that means, of course, we have to consider our timing here based on this correction or these scenarios that we might have. So starting with this scenario where we have, of course, potentially 3 waves toward the downside, very typical Elliott waves, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards the downside. We have currently finished, of course, 3 waves down, and we are looking for 3 waves up for wave B, potentially in W, X, and a Y here, where your wave Y or even A, B, C even can be, but WX and Y not reaching the high potentially, as well as at 0.5 fib level, and then moving toward the downside for a wave C as a 1-to-1 fib level taken, of course, at 65K. After this, you're looking for higher 3 waves and moving toward the downside. Another scenario where we have a W, X, Y, X, and a Z potentially. So you're still looking here after a wave X, you're looking for once more structure which should be similar to the W and to the Y here, as you can see, as a zigzag. This is, of course, a very familiar to happen in a W, X, Y, and a X and a Z. So if we get this, those pattern will be, of course, matching very nicely, and this scenario still can work perfectly. After this, of course, we have a wave C in a bullish scenario here, of course. If you are still bullish, where you have triple 1-2s here, and you have 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5 potentially, of course, because we have started already a new 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as well. And we're gonna see, of course, how this is gonna unfold. However, as we mentioned yesterday, 4 times 1-2s might be, of course, a very low possibility and might invalidate this impulse toward the upside or even in this scenario. Now, in another scenario, of course, it could be that you have finished 3 waves toward the downside. You have a very shallow wave B, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as an ending diagonal. Potentially, of course, it can still be possible where you have a zigzag already for your wave 1, you have a corrective wave for your wave 2, and of course a zigzag for 3 and correction for 4, zigzag for the 5. After this, you have to continue again the same 3 waves toward the upside, looking again for 5 waves down or any structure that it can finish, of course, inside this blue zone. Now, of course, the last scenario is a big wave C directly moving toward the downside as an impulse. Typical Elliott wave, where you have 3 waves down, 3 waves up as, of course, WXY for your wave B, and you start an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave C toward the downside. So all these scenarios are still possible so far, guys, and none of them can be eliminated yet until, of course, we see further price action. Currently, if we are bullish or we are looking still for higher, one of these scenarios is unfolding, whether it is the 1112, which is less possibility, or it is the WX and a Y for a higher wave Y here. And you have potentially like a zigzag toward the upside, another zigzag, and you have an X in between for WX and a Y. In this case scenario, we are looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to finish this zigzag at least, of course, because you still need, of course, an impulse to finish this zigzag. Don't forget it is an A, B, and a C. This wave C has to look like an impulse even on the 4-hour chart and also on the 1-hour chart, which we're gonna move to it right now. So on the 1-hour chart, as highest potential, because we did not invalidate this impulse yet, we are still, of course, looking to finish this impulse toward the upside, saying that here we have finished potentially a wave 3. Yesterday we said, okay, it is preferably, if we get one more push toward the upside, will preferably be, since we got another extension, that will give much higher possibility for the several 1-2s here, if that happened. But currently, yeah, we saw this drop toward the downside, and now, of course, moving still to higher. However, no invalidation yet. We are still inside this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We're still looking for wave 5, since we did not invalidate this impulse yet. Potentially turning it, of course, with this scenario as, with this wave 5, which it can reach exactly the 1-to-1 fib level. With this wave 5, it is much higher potential, of course, that we hit the 1-to-1 fib level, finishing this as a perfect zigzag. Once this is finished as perfect zigzag, of course, we have to retest, but higher potential that we finished a structure here, WX and Y, and we're moving with one of these scenarios that we saw, of course, as bearish on the 4-hour chart. Yep, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen, guys. Watch for a wave 5, unless if this doesn't unfold a wave 5. Therefore, we have to be careful. Of course, it might be finished even here as 3 structure. Okay, very weird. It can be also a WX and a Y inside it, but yeah, we have to be careful from it. Our indication here is the invalidation of bullish, of course, for lower prices. Yeah. So highest possibility in case we move of course, in bearish is the WXYXZ. I think that we still might need a structure as a zigzag. By the way, this of course can form a WX and a Y at the same time. Here we go, like a big WX and a Y, of course, a double zigzag matching perfectly as well. So it can be written like this if you want. It's not necessarily to label it WXYXZ, but it make it much easier, yeah, for you right now. WXYXZ, it tells you what is missing yet. So one of the highest potentials. The second potential, in case we move for a lower, can be possibly a diagonal, possible, but highest possibility it still goes for WXYXZ. Well, an impulse toward the downside is also possible. Yeah, I would say it's also possible. But I think after this very choppy wave here, I believe that a diagonal has much more potential, yeah, to see much more choppiness here. Yeah, so these are the insights, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. Don't forget to follow on X. We're gonna update a lot today on X as well. See you in the next one. Bye.